Is it coming out there?
Oh, yes, it is.
That's all that matters.
Is that better?
Mic working? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. See, it was much louder at sound check, but they say when the room fills up, you know, it just pulls it all down. So I guess that's what's going on. Okay. Yeah, plugging the next gig. I get to play at the Kino Cafe this Friday, and they're having what they call a Jesus music kind of an evening. So that's what I'm going to be doing there.
Feedback.
Yeah, feedback. I don't know. All right, so anyway, since most of you won't come to that show, I thought I'd hit the highlights of it right now for you. First up, I have a parable here that was an attempt to kind of clarify the offer that is intrinsic to the idea of salvation from perhaps an Armenian perspective. But anyway, it's a parable. Like when you're talking about the gospel, you know, what's that mean? Well, it's something like this. A very little bit like this. Well, just last Saturday, the weather was fine. I thought I'd go out and I'd kill some time. I decided I'd go for a little boat ride on the Manya, Kaguna, Haney, Grand, White Rapids, Sandy, High Ride, Next Quake, Drown, and Whoopie-Ding River, which is just southeast of what for Pennsylvania. Well, the water was fast. 'Twas the spring of the year, so I rented a raft and I loaded my gear. And just to be safe, I asked a ranger if riding the river there'd be any danger. He said no. Water's just fine for the next 4,962.3 miles. In other words, clear down to the sea. That was comforting. I pushed out in the river and I looked around and I saw everybody in the whole dang town. There was George and Sue and Tom and Marie all riding the river just like me. I waved to George. He didn't see me. He was busy throwing peanut shells at something trying to light on his sandwich. Well, the water took off a little further along. We was going so fast I thought something was wrong. I hollered to Tom, but he said, "Stay cool, right around this bend there's a quiet little pool." The ranger said so. After all, it's his job to know all about this river. You just gotta have faith. Well, the pool wasn't there, but they didn't mind. Everybody was laughing, having a great time. Well, the water was roaring. It sounded like thunder. All the faith I had says we're going under. Nobody else was worried. They were all just singing and splashing, just as happy as if they had good sense. Then my raft hit a rock and spun me around. Phil and Mary went under and it looked like they drowned. Two boats crashed into the canyon side and a sharp-pointed log tore right through the hide of a South Seas Outrigger canoe. What's that doing here? Dumped all the people out of it. Then it smashed down on their heads. Well, the ones that were left still couldn't see danger. They all had complete faith and trust in the ranger. They just didn't care what was happening at all. And suddenly I heard the roar of the falls. I knew we'd all had it then. Saw two rafts and a kayak disappear. Everybody laughing and having faith. And I saw this nut hanging out of a tree. He was long-haired and bearded and reaching for me. I grabbed for his hand and he pulled me up dry. Everybody else just waved as they floated on by, right over the falls, located exactly at the end of the river of life. He said, folks that know that they can't trust the waves can always reach out for my hand and be saved. I said, I'm going back and I'm going to tell all that they've got to find you or go over the falls. He just smiled. Said most folks don't really believe that there is a falls. But thanks for trying. Well, I told you about him last time I was here, but you didn't believe it. Kept sipping your beer, having all kinds of faith as you're riding your raft. And I guess you could say that I'll have the last laugh. But I won't. Probably be crying. Because this tree that I'm calling to you from right now, this could be the last tree that you go under before the falls. Now's your chance. Reach out for his hand.